Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's session. My name is Firas, and I'm a event planner for the Redmond Reactor. Before we start, I have a few things to go over. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful to your commentary and remain professional and on topic. This session is recorded. It will be available through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 24 to 48 hours. I will share the link to the YouTube in the chat, and I'll also be sharing the Reactor Mira page. Plus, I'll also be sharing the link to our survey in case you want to let us know how this event went. Which brings us to our session today. This session will run approximately from 1 to 1.5 hours with time for questions throughout. Our speaker for today is Rodrigo Diaz Concha. He's a solutions architect. I'm now going to pass this along to Rodrigo.
Okay, thank you, Firas, and thank you everyone for joining me on this session where we're going to talk about the Azure Computer Vision Service, which comes from the Azure Cognitive Services. As Firas said, I'm Rodrigo Diaz Concha. I'm a Microsoft Regional Director and also a Microsoft MVP since over a decade. So this is wonderful because I'm going to explain to you how to use this computer vision technology to analyze images. And actually, this session is going to be based on the following learning path that we have in Microsoft Learn. So let me show it to you right now. So if we go to this particular URL, you're going to find the learning path, which is entirely about cognitive services, okay? And mostly for computer vision. And as you can see, this is gonna take like 4 hours or so. And of course, we don't have enough time here. However, I'm gonna base this entire session on the Analyze Images modules. However, there are so many other modules that you can take in this same learning path. For instance, you can use the Analyze Video for analyzing videos, of course. That's great for having a live feed from a camera and then analyzing those frames in real time, which is particularly interesting. And also you can do the classify images, detect objects, detect, analyze, and recognize faces as well, okay? So this is my suggestion to you. Just do the entire learning path when you have the time, because that's gonna complement all your knowledge that you're gonna receive today in this particular session, okay? So that's great. And what in the world are Azure Cognitive Services? So Azure Cognitive Services are a series of APIs that we can use in our own applications. Those are already trained modules, machine learning models that are trained by Microsoft, okay? So for instance, this computer vision service that we're gonna use today was trained by Microsoft by using, I don't know, thousands or millions of images. So it can detect objects, it can detect landmarks, it can detect if that's adult content, or maybe tag your images. And there are so many characteristics and features that we can take from this particular API, okay? So Azure Cognitive Services are a series of APIs that we can use. And before we do that, we need to provision an Azure Cognitive Services resource in our Azure subscription, okay? So that's why you need Azure, of course. If we're talking about Azure Cognitive Services, you're gonna need an Azure subscription. If you don't happen to have an Azure subscription nowadays, you can go to, let me show it to you. Let me go back to Firefox, and here, let me go to, that's azure.com/free. So here's the place where you can obtain an Azure account for free, okay? There are so many different services that you can take for free for 12 months, and you also get 200 Azure credit for provisioning any kind of resource. And there are so many other services that are always free. Okay, so if you don't happen to have an Azure subscription, you can start now for free. So that's great. And let me go back to the other browser where I already have this Azure portal open. Because in the interest of time, I've already deployed this Azure Cognitive Services resource, okay? So the name of this resource is Cognitive Services. So you create the Cognitive Services resource in a particular resource group, and actually that's it. You're good to go. The only thing that you need is the key and the endpoint, okay? Because those two pieces, we're gonna use them in our code today. I'm gonna use C# and .NET 6 for building a console application for recognizing and analyzing images. And of course, you can use any other programming language such as Python. Actually, in the module, you're gonna see that you can use Python as well. And of course, you're not constrained about only using C# or Python. You can use other programming languages as well, okay? Remember that this is just a regular API, a REST API that you can invoke. So that's that. Okay, so you need the endpoint, you need the key. I can show it to you right now because of, I'm gonna delete this resource after we end the session. So that's the key that I'm going to use in the code. Of course, in a production environment, you don't need to store this key and the endpoint inside the code, just like I'm going to do in these practices. Otherwise, you're gonna expose yourself, right? So those are two pieces of information that you could take to, I don't know, maybe Azure Key Vault or maybe a secrets environment, right? Or I don't know, any other platform. Okay, so you need this and you need the endpoint. Let me go back to the browser and let me show the introduction module, the unit of this module. So let's continue until, of course, there's a description about what is the computer vision resource, what can you do, okay? So let me go to the exercise because this is great because you don't need to have anything particular installed in your machine. You can do this entire learning module inside your browser, which is awesome. So I'm gonna click on the Launch Lab button, and then I'm gonna expect this to start. This is gonna deploy an entire virtual machine for me that has all the different SDKs and all the different development tools that I need to, to finish this learning path. So that's gonna take like 1 minute. So before we open this, let me show to you that I'm not going to use this virtual machine because I want to use my own tools, okay? So that's my suggestion to you. Having a virtual machine that you can control over your browser is great. I mean, it's awesome. However, if you're a developer, maybe you want to use your own development tools and tool chains, right? So that's why that's the path that I'm going to use in this session. I'm going to go through all the different description and instructions for this learning path, and I'm going to write the code live here. So you can see the development workflow for using the Azure Cognitive Services service, okay? Specifically the computer vision service. Okay, so let's go and see if this is already deployed because I want to show you what would be the experience if you happen to use the virtual machine. So as you can see here, I can type the password magically if I click on this password, and then I can log in into this virtual machine. So this is a real virtual machine running in Azure, and as you can see, it has, for instance, Visual Studio Code, and it has all the different tools that we need to finish this, right? So, okay, let me click on End because that's not the path that I'm going to take today. I'm going to use these instructions, okay? So let me go and put these instructions right here in the other monitor so you can see me typing the code, because I want to explain to you line by line what's happening, okay? So, perfect. Let's go and open the Windows terminal. And here we are in the Windows terminal. And as you can see, I'm using the new Windows terminal application where I can zoom in, zoom out, and have different tabs, okay? So here, as you can see, I have already installed .NET 6. By the time of this recording, the latest version of .NET 6 is 301. That's the latest version of the SDK. So I'm gonna type .NET new console, and then the name of this application, let's say computer vision test or something like that. Actually, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we can see that we have the program.cs file, which is using the top level statements feature from .NET. And this is, as you can see, this is not using any class or namespace or using statements. It's just a single line of code that is saying hello world. And the other file that we have here is computer vision test.csproj, which is all the different instructions that Microsoft built. I mean, not Microsoft built, the technical name is MS Build. However, of course, MS is for Microsoft. MS Build for building this particular application, okay? So as you can see, this is using .NET 6. The target framework is .NET 6.0. Okay, so of course, I can type the code in Notepad or any other code editor. However, I'm gonna use Visual Studio Code today, okay? And why? Because I think this is a great lightweight environment for building any kind of application, actually. So, okay, what is the next thing that we need? So let me show it to you because I already provisioned the Cognitive Services resource as I showed you. And the first thing that this thing is telling me is to add the following NuGet package. Of course, if you're using Python, you're gonna use pip to install this other package, okay? And of course, I'm using C# because I happen to be a C# developer since 20 years ago. So this is the name of the NuGet package that I'm going to install. So let's do that. I can do this inside Visual Studio Code, or I can go back here to the Windows terminal and type .NET add package, and then the name of this package, which is Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services Vision Computer Vision. And this is because there we will find all the different classes for connecting to the cognitive service resource, okay? So this is great. Let me build this application and let me show it to you, list package, .NET list package, so we can see that this is installed, okay? So perfect. Now, the next thing that we're gonna need is the endpoint and the key. As you might remember, those are here in the Azure portal. So I'm gonna copy this key and do the following, say string key, and then the endpoint, okay? This is the endpoint, string endpoint, something like this, okay? Because I will need those pieces for connecting to the Azure Cognitive Service resource. So now what I need is a credentials object for connecting and authenticating to Azure, okay? So let's do bar credentials, and then I'm gonna use this API key. The name is API key service client credentials. That's the name of the class, okay? So as you can see, this is coming from Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services Vision Computer Vision. this is precisely the NuGet package that we installed, okay? So that's why we need this using statement. So here we need to specify, as you can see, the subscription key. So that's gonna be the key variable that I have here, okay? So this is the object instance for connecting to the Azure Cognitive Service, okay? So now I need some way to connect to that because this is just for authentication purposes. However, we have another class, which is, let's say, client. This is gonna be my variable for the computer vision client. This is the name of the client for connecting to the computer vision service. Okay, so I need to pass the credentials object, and now I need to specify the endpoint name. So as you can see, I have this property, and I can pass the endpoint variable here as its value. Okay, so I have the credentials, I have the computer vision client, and now I'm ready to use the different methods for analyzing images. For instance, I can use analyze image async, or I can do, I don't know, I can execute any other of those methods. However, in this module, I'm gonna use analyze image in stream async. Okay, so I'm going to create a static async task, and the name will be analyze image, and let's pass the image path or something like that, because here I want to execute client analyze image async, and I need to pass the file that I'm reading right here. So for instance, before we do that, let's open up this stream. However, let me do something, because if I use the following, say open read, okay, this is gonna return a stream. So image path, okay. So here I want to use this syntax for reading this file as a stream. So here in image, I have this file stream object, and now I can pass that stream to client dot analyze image async, and I can pass the, the stream, okay? However, let me type the null object here because I want to explain something to you. If I do that with this top level statements syntax, as you can see, I don't have access, and I don't have the ability to call client, because client is inside this top level statement. So what I'm going to do now is to, well, just create a regular program.cs file. So I'm gonna use this refactoring tool for creating the program.main style program. So as you can see, this is just a regular program, and I have this public static void main, just a regular console application. Okay, so I'm running away from the top level statements because I'm sure I can do that with top level statements. However, I don't want to confuse you, and I don't want to create code that is very hard to read. Okay, so that's why I'm ready now to do the following. I can type computer vision client, and then put the name of the variable, and this could be private static. And instead of doing var client, just client, and I'm creating the instance right here in line number 13, okay? Okay, cool, so I have access right now, and I can invoke analyze image async, perfect. So now, what we need is to create the following object, which is a features list. What is a features list? Let me show it to you. Actually, I have the code right here, so I can accelerate this process. Let me paste the code, and allow me to align this. Okay, So this is going to be a list of this particular enum, which is visual feature types. So as you can see, I'm telling what are those features that I'm interested in. So for instance, I'm interested in obtaining the description that the cognitive service detected, a list of tags, categories, brands, objects, if it's adult content or not, and those kind of things. Actually, we type visual feature types. You can see that there are others. However, I think this is the majority of things that we can read in this session, okay? So as you can see, this is another one, faces, for obtaining the faces in images. But actually that's for another module, okay? Okay, cool. So we have the features, which is a list of visual feature types. This is an enum that comes from the Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services vision, computer vision models. Um, so we can pass the features object here to the analyze image async. And actually I can just wait for this. And I think we're good to go. What this is telling me is to can convert file stream to string, analyze image in actually this is not it. Analyze image in stream. Okay, that's the one that I was looking for. Analyze image, you can pass a string path, and here analyze image in stream async. Of course, you need to pass this stream that I'm reading by using the OpenRead method that comes from the file class. And this is from the old system.io namespace. Cool. So what we need now is to move this. Of course, this is not going to work very well in terms of readability. So I'm going to move this analyze image method outside the static void main. I think that's better. And now we need to do the following: analyze image, and then I could pass a file. So what would be this? So for instance, I'm going to pass images, say, I don't know, avengers.jpg. So I need to change this. Of course, if I'm awaiting this, I need to change this to a task. I think that's better. And of course, this is a hard-coded file name. And of course, I need the images folder. So let's create that, images. And now let me open the Windows terminal because I happen to have some images already here in my machine. So let me copy those from AI 102 and 15, and then C# image analysis, images. So I'm going to copy those files, okay? So let me show it to you. The Avengers JPEG file is this photo for the, well, I took that photo of the, the toys of my toddler. He's obsessed on the Avengers. So great. Let's do the following. Let's run this. So first, let's verify if this is compiling. Okay, cool. So it looks like I can just execute the application right now. And of course, I'm not returning anything. I just want to know if this is working, and it works as expected. Of course, I need to obtain the different data and properties that I'm receiving from the cognitive service, right? So after I execute analyze image in stream async, I'm going to do the following. I'm gonna obtain the analysis object. So this is gonna return a image analysis instance. So image analysis, as you can see, it has a lot of different properties that have the data that the cognitive service resource detected. For instance, I have the, I don't know, description object for obtaining the description, or tags for obtaining the tags, and so on. So as you can see, this is a very easy class to understand, because that's the place that you're gonna use. That's the place that you're gonna obtain the data that you received. Okay. Okay. So analysis, and then I'm going to use the description property, for instance, and here I'm gonna I don't know, iterate over the captions to understand what the computer vision service saw in my image. Okay, so I can do this for each, I don't know, bar caption in captions, and let's do the following. So I can type in the console, right line, I don't know, caption.text, just to see what's in there. And let's do the following text, and then I can use the other value, which is confidence. Take into account that this is very important, because this is not like an absolute thing. What I mean by that is that the Azure Cognitive Service is going to tell you, hey, I saw these things, and I'm pretty confident about this percentage. Okay, so confidence, as you can see, this is a double value, and this is a percentage. So that's going to tell us, okay, I'm 50% sure or 65% sure that I'm seeing this. Okay, so this is very interesting to see with a confidence of, I don't know, this percentage. Okay, and I'm going to format this as a percentage value. Okay, so we're ready to run this again. So let's see the values. So as you can see, this is returning a group of action figures with a confidence of 57%. Okay, so that's pretty cool, if you ask me, because this is telling me that the cognitive service is analyzing the image and is quite confident that that's the things that it's watching and seeing in this particular image. Okay. Okay, so that's why we're using the description property for obtaining the entire description that the cognitive service returned. Okay, so now we're ready to use the other objects and properties, such as, I don't know, tags. So we can iterate over tags as well. So let's see, if analysis.tags.count, if there's something there, it means that I can iterate over the tag. So let's do that. For each, say, bar tag in analysis.tags, and let's write this down. Console, right line, and I'm going to use, I don't know, let's see if we have a name and we have a confidence as well. So I'm going to use the same. But instead of caption, I'm going to use tag, of course, tag, and then tag. And tag is name, okay. It's not text. With a confidence of blah, blah, blah. Perfect. So let's see, this is the tags, okay. This is the description, just like this. So let's run this again. So as you can see, this is going to return the description, and then it's going to return all the different tags that the service used for this image analysis. So as you can see, this is quite fantastic. It's using the toy tag with a confidence of 94%. Wow. Superhero, 93%. Fictional character, hero, action figure, figurine, Avengers, cartoon, indoor. Wow, indoor, even indoor, as you can see, which is true because I took that picture in my living room. So that's awesome. And person. Okay, person, it's okay. However, I'm quite surprised about this. Okay, toy, superhero, fictional character. It analyzed that image and I'm obtaining that data. So let's do the same with other images. Of course, I need to fix this because I don't want to change the code each time I want any other image. So let's do the following. I already happen to have the code right here. So for instance, I'm using the street.jpg file, which is this one that comes from the learning path in Microsoft Learn. Okay, so that's the default image. And if I pass some arguments to this application, then I'm going to use that image file name. Okay, so I can change this and instead use image file. So that's great. Let's try the other ones. So .NET Run and images. Let's try street JPEG. So this is going to return, the description is a person walking a dog on the street with a confidence of 45%, and then the text, okay? Outdoor, land vehicle, building with a building, okay? That's a building with a confidence of 95%, 98%, I'm sorry. Road, wheel, street, person, clothing, animal, car, dog, jello. That's interesting. This is because those taxi cabs. So amazing stuff. Let's try and do the following because I want to. So I want to separate the things that I'm receiving from the tags. Okay, so let's try again. Street. Okay, so the description and then the tags. Let's try another one. Let's try, say, Cathy the dog. So she's my dog. She's a pit bull. Okay. So let's do .NET Run, images, Cathy, JPEG. Okay. So a dog sitting on a ledge with a confidence of 49%. So as you can see, Cathy is sitting right there. Okay. Dog, animal, dog breed. Actually, that's the first one. Animal, dog, mammal, pet, wall, snout, indoor, standing. Okay. Awesome. Let's try the other one, which is building. Building. As you can see, this is the US Capitol. So a large white building with a dome and a green lawn in front of with United States Capitol in the background with a confidence of 45%. So yeah, that's exactly what's going on in that picture. Outdoor, cloud, grass, trees, sky. Those are the tags that this cognitive service detected. Awesome. Let me try the last one because I want to show you what real Mexican food looks like. And this is what we call torta. And this is an amazing invention. So it's like a sandwich. However, it's so nice. So let's try that torta photo. Okay, so .NET Run, images and torta.jpg. Okay, so let's try this. And it says sandwich with meat and cheese with a confidence of 42. So yeah, that's right. It has meat, it has cheese, it has a lot of things, and it's an amazing experience. Sandwich, snack food, bread, fast food, American food. Well, yeah, it's American food because we're in the same continent. Bun, breakfast sandwich, submarine, some other things, bacon sandwich. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing how we can obtain this information from a single photo that I took, I don't know, 2 months ago. So that's fantastic. Perfect. So we're obtaining the description, we're obtaining the tags. Let's see what other kind of things we can obtain. So for instance, we can obtain if the photo is a picture of a particular landmark, okay? Just like the US Capitol. So let's do that. I already have the code right here, so you don't have to see me typing all the time. So as you can see, let me explain this code to you. Just let me change and fix the name of this variable. So as you can see, I'm using the categories property in this case, okay? And I'm iterating over the categories, and then I'm going to iterate over the details of that particular category, and I'm going to see if that's a famous landmark, okay? So, and of course, I'm adding that landmark information in a list that is right here. And after I do that, I can just, let me copy the code. I can just output that in the um, console. So for each, after the for each, I'm gonna use this. So as you can see, I'm gonna see if there were if there were landmarks. Okay, that's why I'm verifying if landmarks.count is over, it's greater than zero, right? And then I'm going to iterate and then output that in the console. And also I'm gonna see if this has celebrities as well. So what I'm doing now is to obtain the information about landmarks and also celebrities. That's what this code is doing. And of course, this is from let me show it to you. This is from this learning path, okay? So you can obtain all this code from this learning path, and you can do it yourself in the browser if you use the virtual machine, or you can do it on your local machine if you happen to have the, I don't know, .NET SDK, or you can use Python or so. Okay, so let's try this again, okay? .NET Run. Before I do that, let me verify if this is compiling, which it does. Okay, .NET Run, and then images, and let's try building. Okay, building. So we can see the description, right? The tags, and then the categories. So it has a building category and building street category, and also landmarks, okay? This is great. So it's telling me with a 98% of confidence that this is the United States capital. And it is, right? It is. So this is fantastic. And let's try with another photo of this famous person, who is Satya Nadella. Of course, he is the CEO of Microsoft. Let's try this again. Images, person.jpg, and we can obtain the categories, people, okay? Celebrities, Satya Nadella, with a confidence of 99%, okay? And of course, we can see the other tags, clothing, person, human face, man, radar, glasses, blah, blah, blah. Satya Nadella wearing glasses with a confidence of this confidence. So this is fantastic. Let me try another picture. Okay, so let's see. Let's go and open the other browser. I'm going to do that in other monitor, okay? So bear with me. Let's see. I don't know. Seattle Space Needle. Okay, let me see if I can I can find a photo of the Seattle Space Needle. Okay, same image as, and Reactor images and SN, for instance. Okay, cool. So as you can see, this is a new image that I just downloaded from the internet, and this is the Seattle's Space Needle, right? So this is a fantastic place. I think it's also a landmark. So let's try and analyze SN JPG. So .NET Run, images, SN JPEG, and let's see what's going on there. A tall tower with a city below with a confidence of, yeah, okay, that's what's going on there. Outdoor, sky, sunset, building, water, horizon. So in this case, it's not a landmark, which I'm surprised. So, I mean, that's the result of this analysis. Let me try another thing. I'm going to download this other image from uh, uh, this other place in Mexico City. Let me show it to you. Uh, Save image. I can't do that. Let me try another one. So I'm doing that in other monitor, okay? Uh, okay, save image as in Reactor, um, images, and no, I don't think I can do that. I can find any JPEG file. Let me try again. File type, JPEG. Let's see if this is the one. Okay, save image as. Okay, this is a JPEG. Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for waiting for me. So this is um, uh, the uh, Palacio de Bellas Artes in Mexico City. So this is a very famous place. Let me rename this as BA. Okay, BA JPEG. So this is Mexico City. Let's try this again. .NET Run, images, BA JPEG. And let's see the results. This is a large building with a dome and many windows. That's funny. Surrounded by water. Surrounded by water? That's not true. Okay, that must be because of the, the colors and contrast in the picture. And yeah, it didn't detect the landmark as well. Anyways, we can go on and on with this example. However, you get the drill. I'm obtaining that particular information from a single image by using the cognitive service. Okay, so let's try another thing. Let's try to obtain all the different brands that the picture has. So as you can see, I'm using the brands property. So if there's something in brands, which is a list, then I could iterate over that collection and then output the text in the console. Okay, so in these pictures, I don't have a brand. Yeah, I have a brand here in person, JPEG. As you can see, we have this very famous logo. It's the Microsoft logo. So .NET Run, images, person, JPEG, and let's see the results. So brands, yeah, of course, Microsoft. Confidence, 87% of confidence. So if you happen to have a picture with logos that you want to detect, so as you can see, this is returning correctly the logo. Of course, what happens if you have a picture with not very well-known logos? Uh, you can train your own models, okay? You can train your own machine learning models by using the custom vision cognitive service, which is another service, okay? I'm just using pre-trained models here in this session. However, you can train your own models. That's great. And actually, we do that. I'm in the healthcare space. So we're doing that for detecting, of course, not brands, but analyzing images about the skin of people. We're taking pictures of healthy skins, and so we can detect if there's something like a variation of a healthy skin. We can detect diseases in the skin by analyzing those images. And of course, we need to train those models, okay? This is not something that is pre-trained by Microsoft because that would be impossible. So that's why we can use the custom vision service, and you can do that. Awesome. So let me try another thing, which is the objects property. So this is gonna detect the different objects in the picture. Okay, so this is great because the cognitive service is gonna detect if there's a, I don't know, a table, a chair, a window, I don't know, a cup, what have you, right? So this is gonna return, hey, I detected this particular object in the image. So let me fix this. Um, and this other one. And as you can see, I'm using the same code that comes um, from this learning path. However, if you use the code that comes from the learning path, you're gonna see that that was created by using .NET Core 3.1, which is an older version of .NET nowadays, and I'm using today .NET 6. So what happens is that .NET 6 is a cross-platform technology that you can use to build Windows applications, and of course you can use it for building, I don't know, Android or iOS applications as well. So that's why this is not detecting image and graphics and pen and font and solid brush and rectangle. This is because those classes are Windows only. So that's why it's not able to use them. So what I need to do is the following. Let me open uh, Firefox and go to NuGet.org, and I'm going to search for system.drawing, and I need this particular NuGet package, okay? System.drawing.common. Because there I can find the rectangle and graphics and all of those classes, okay? However, this is for Windows only. So I'm going to use this 6.0 version because nowadays we have the .NET 7 preview and I don't want to use that. I want to use 6.0. I guess I can use those other two as well. However, I'm going to use 6.0.0 and I'm going to copy this package reference element and I'm going to go back here and paste it down below the package reference that I added at the beginning of this video. So, okay, I'm referencing system.drawing.common, and if I go back here, you can see that this is not working still. Okay, so this is telling me to use this other namespace, which is incorrect. What I need to do is to fix this because remember, those classes are for Windows only, so I need to change the target framework. And this is just for .NET, okay? If you happen to use, I don't know, Python or any other programming language, of course, you can just skip this explanation. However, if you are a .NET developer, that's what's going on here. Okay, so if I go back, now I should be ready to use those types. Let me try to build this image. I know this is not working. I know that. Graphics. Okay, using system.drawing. So, okay, the namespace that I required is system.drawing. Okay, so now I'm ready to fix this other error, which is the, I think this is the image file, image path. That's the name that I used. So image path, and I think that's it. Prepare image for drawing, local parameter, declaring that name is used. So it looks like this is, I have an other image variable here. So I'm going to fix this. I don't know. Let's change it to image stream or something. Okay. And yeah, that was the error. Okay, so I think I'm now ready to .NET Build. And yeah, let's try and do the following. Dot run, and let's see what's interesting here. So Space Needle person, of course, those photos, all of them are interesting. However, I'm going to use the Avengers.jpg file, okay? Because it has different objects, like the toys themselves. However, I have this plant and the table. Let's see what happens if I analyze this image now. Images and then Avengers JPEG. Okay, so it's running, and this is the list of objects that it detected. So football helmet, which is funny because of course there's a helmet. There's a lot of helmets, right? Thor is using a helmet which looks like a football helmet, and also Captain America, and also Thanos, and even Captain Marvel and Iron Man, all of them, right? So football helmet, footwear, which is funny, of course. They use those boots. Plant. Here's the plant. This is fantastic. Plant. Yeah, it detected the plant successfully. And of course, those toys and those things, right? And as you can see here, it's also saving the results in the objects JPEG file. So this is great because if I show you the objects JPEG file, you can see all the different things that it detected. Person, toy, person, football helmet. So this is the helmet that it detected, the one from Captain America, and the plant, which is fantastic. Of course, I don't have other pictures to show you. However, you can play with this and you can use it for your own purposes. Another example is we're using this in retail. That's another market that I'm involved with. So in retail, we're using this for analyzing vending machines products. So if you go and I don't know, maybe you want chocolate or you want a soda or something, a bottle of water or what have you. If you go to a vending machine, those products need to be aligned and need to be uh, positioned in a particular way. Okay, those aren't random positions. So with this, we're analyzing if the vending machine has how many products it has and if those products are correctly aligned and positioned. So, and I think you can use this service, this cognitive service for computer vision in so many places and so many examples and verticals. Awesome. So this is the first module in the learning path. Let me go back here. And because we analyzed the image to suggest a caption, we already done that. We suggested the tags. We obtained the tags, okay? And we obtained the categories. We obtained the information about landmarks and celebrities and the brands and the object detection in the image, okay? So this is the same code that I used in this video. So you can, you can use this for your own purposes, or you can play with it and you can practice this cognitive service in your own time. So other things that you can do is get moderation ratings for an image. Of course, if that particular image has adult content, you can obtain that information. And you can also generate a thumbnail image by using this cognitive service. And this is great also for retail, because if you happen to have one of those applications where you can, buy things, buy groceries, right? Those images that you're watching on your mobile phone are thumbnails. Those are not the full size, high quality pictures, because otherwise you're gonna experience slowness in your application, right? So you need those little thumbnails in your application. So you can use this to create those thumbnails very easily. As you can see, this is just one single line of code, generate thumbnail in stream. This is passing the stream, and it's telling the width and height that you want, and that's it. And that's it. It's gonna create the file on your file system. So this is the module that I wanted to show you today. If we go back to the, let's go back to the create computer vision solutions with Azure Cognitive Services learning path, you can see that this was the analyze images module, okay? Very interesting. So you can do the same with videos. You can analyze individual frames from a live video or a video file, of course, and you can obtain the same information that I did today with images. However, this is interesting because you can have a live feed of a camera and you can analyze that video in real time, which is fantastic. You can also do the classify images module, detect objects. This is very similar to the one that I did today, and detect, analyze, and recognize faces in photos. Okay, so you can have a picture with your friends or family members, and it can detect, hey, this is a face, here's another face, here's another face. And you can also detect the emotions, okay? Facial features and emotions. You can see, or you can detect if the particular person is happy or sad or worried or I don't know. So you can detect that. You can obtain that information from this computer vision service. Awesome. So let me return to the PowerPoint presentation so I can show the URL for this learning path. So the URL is aka.ms build skills Azure Computer Vision 06.22-learn. Okay, so if you go there, you can navigate to the learning path and start playing with this with the different modules that it has. So okay, I can answer some questions now. Hi, Depeche. Hi, Vincent. Hi, everyone. A lot of people are saying hello. Yeah, hello. And I can answer some questions if you happen to have one. And otherwise, let me thank you for your time and happy coding. Use cognitive services to create awesome solutions.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo. I appreciate your time, and the session was great as usual. Um, Everyone, again, thanks for joining. And I just dropped in the AKA link learn for this event's resources, as Rodrigo was mentioning. And please, I'll also going to drop in a link for our survey. If you have some time and would like to tell us how this event went, please use the AKA link we just dropped and use the code 15877. Other than that, if you have questions, Rodrigo is more than happy to answer. If not, we'll wrap this session up.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.